Hey crafty family, it's me, and I've got something cool to show you. This is basically what this is. I don't know if you guys have seen them before, but have you seen explosion boxes before? Well, this is kind of a simpler version of an explosion box, but still cool nonetheless. And this is how it's decorated on the outside with washi tape and a photo of an old-timey photo of a woman. My washi tape, I need to stick it down better. But I was just making this as an example, more or less, but it still came out cute. And so you take off the thing, and there's goodies inside. Now these are just example goodies. I wouldn't use actually these, but you know what I mean, like it fits lots of goodies inside. And what I was thinking is that maybe we would swap these, because here's why. Because the ones that I made are not super complicated. They're easy to make, and you just use some cardstock and add some embellishments. I did a very simple version. You can dress it up a lot more than I did, obviously. I just did it very simple as an example, like so. I put pictures and quotes and little handmade things on each one. You catch my drift? And then in here, I thought this is where you would write your little message to the person you're swapping with. You would use up these flaps, and you can doodle, and you can write your little message, and then you can load it up, because that's easy to do, is to just load it up with a whole bunch of goodies. You know, just load it up, and when you're done loading it up, you put your lid on, and you'd have to obviously get a box, but I'm sure you could find a small box, put a little tissue paper around it, and send it. It couldn't cost, you know, it's not very heavy, so I mean, it couldn't cost any more than what, $5, $4, $5, and that would be a fun swap idea. So I think these would be fun to swap. I like making them. I'm going to show you how I made this one. It's super easy. We're going to make one together. And then, if anybody wants to, after I fix the, I'm going to put a little glue where my tape is coming up. And if anybody wants to swap this one, I'm not going to put this stuff in it. You know, some of this stuff is some stuff people gave me. But I have other stuff, you know, I'll have other nice stuff to put in it. But if somebody wants to swap this one, they can, or you know, you guys can swap amongst yourself. But anyway, so let's get started. I will stop the camera, go get what I need, and bring it back and show you everything you'll need and what we need to do. So I will be right back. Okay, so I got 4 pieces of paper, and you want to use colored solid cardstock. And here's why. Because you want the back and the front to be a color, because it looks better. Because see, then here's the inside, and then you got the outside, which actually you can totally decorate the outside, and I'll probably further go and do that to this one. Or you can doodle on it. You know, you can do lots of things. You can put tiny little envelopes on it and put little things in the envelopes. You can put little pockets on it. You can do all kinds of things to it. So you need 4 pieces of paper. You want it to be double-sided solid cardstock, or you can use double-sided scrapbook paper or pattern paper. However, you probably want to leave your center one to be a solid plain piece. And you could do the other ones, you know, pattern if it's double-sided, and you could put your pictures and stuff on those. But, you know, your centerpiece is where you're going to write, so you probably want to leave that one plain, solid colored. You know what I'm saying? So then what you're going to do is, then you're going to get your cutter, and whichever one you want on the outside. So in this case it would be equivalent to the blue one here. You're going to cut a square 8.5 by 8.5. Now I'm going to show you a trick on how to, after we get all these cut, I'm going to show you a trick on how to get these all measured out, because you know me, I don't like to measure. So first of all, let's start out with our 8.5. Maybe I'll turn on the light so you guys can see. that there's a groovy light, and I think this is already 8.5. Yes, because the paper is 8.5 by 11. So there's our 8.5. Then we're going to go down 1/2 inch. So then we're going to cut the next one at 8. And I want to go like this. So we're going to cut the next one at 8 inches squared. So there we have that one. And then we're going to go 7.5. So we're just doing it in increments of 1/2 inch all the way down. We started at 8.5, then we go to 8, then we're going to 7.5, then we're going to, yeah, you know what I mean. So we have 8.5, so, okay. So we're doing 7.5 now. And now we're going to do the last one at 7 inches. And we're going to keep all the scraps because they can be used in the future. Okay, and then we'll do the lid last, because that you're going to need a 5th piece of paper for that, keep in mind. So you might want to do the lid. The lid you can do in a pattern paper. If you wanted to do all these in solid cardstock, you can do the lid in pattern paper because it doesn't matter whether or not it's double-sided. Okay. So, we have to divide this paper into thirds. So, you think, okay, well, how the hell do you divide 8.5 into thirds? Good question. It ain't possible. It's like practically impossible, because it's not, you know, it's just not possible to divide 8.5 in thirds. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how to do that. Because it's not like it's 9 where it would be 3, 6, 9. So I learned a trick. And I learned it from a guy on the... It wasn't even YouTube. It was some random video when I was looking up how to divide something into thirds. He showed me this trick. So let's say you wanted to do... You know, divide something into thirds so that you can have thirds this way. Like making a tic-tac-toe board, kind of. Let me get a pencil. So basically what you do is you take the 0, let me move you in just a little bit. See if I can do this without getting completely off kilter. I'm standing up so I could do this properly. Put the 0 of your ruler, the 0 end, in the top left corner. And then find a number on the ruler that divides by 3, since that's what we want to do. We want it in thirds, so we got to find a number on the ruler that divides by 3. Now 6 divides by 3, but it doesn't reach to the other end. It has to be able to reach to this side over here. It has to reach to this side. So what's the next best number? 9. That divides by 3. So what you do is you move the ruler, you keep the 0 end up in the upper left hand corner, and you put the 9 on the edge of the paper on the right side. And you make sure, because it'll get off kilter, so you want to make sure you have to keep adjusting it until the 9 is exactly where it should be here. Okay? And the 0 is exactly where it should be here. So it'll look like kind of like this. And on each paper as it goes down, since they're smaller than this one, it'll be a little different. It'll be angled a little different, but it'll be fine. So then you make a mark at 3 and 6. And that's it. And then you take it, and in this case I like to use my, so I get a straight line. Hold on. This has got the grids on it. So you kind of need something that'll help you get a straight line. You probably can't see my pencil marks, and I'm probably out of view. Let me go out just a little bit here. Wrong way. Okay, so my pencil marks are, let me find them. Okay, so they were like this. They're here and here. That was 3 and that was 6. So what I do, I put it on this because it's got a grid to make sure I make a straight line, and then I line it up with one of the lines on the grid and make sure that it's lined up at the bottom. And then I am able to draw a straight line like that, which is very hard to see. It's kind of faint, but I promise it's there. It's just really faint. I'm going to have to press harder. And then we're going to do the same thing at the 6 mark that we put in, which is also hard to see on purple paper. I'll show you on the next one, because I didn't realize that this was going to be that difficult to see. Okay. There we go. That one should be a little darker. Okay. So there's a line that you can barely see. So now you're going to flip it the other way and do the same thing, because we need, like I said, like a tic-tac-toe board. So you're going to put that up in the 0. You're going to put that on the 9. You're going to make sure that they're exact. And you're going to make a mark at 3 and a mark at 6. And then you're going to line it up. Make sure everything's straight and lined up nicely. And there's one line. There's another line. So now I've got a checker pattern. I'm going to do it again on one of the lighter sheets of paper. Okay, so this is one of the smaller pieces, and it's also lighter in color. So again, we're going to put it here. Now if you had smaller paper, you know, you could use the 6. You could use the 3. You know, I don't know. You can use whatever. But see how now the angle is a little different. It goes all the way down here because this paper is smaller. Well, I got to get that up in the corner properly. There we go. It's lined up. The 9 is here. The 0 is there. So we're going to do 3 and 6. Now obviously, this is only if you're dividing in 3s. If you're dividing by other ways, I don't know what you would do, honestly. This is just if you want to divide by 3. Divide a paper by 3. It's interesting, isn't it? And it works. It's not an easy thing to do. So there's one. There's 2. Now we're going to turn it this way, do the same thing. It goes by quick once you get the first one or 2 done. 3, 6. But it definitely helps if you had a grid thing like this, because then you can line your ruler up with the grids on something, and like you could use your if you have a cutting mat, one of those, you know, self-healing cutting mat thingers, you can use that to line up, because they usually have a grid system on them. Oh, I went the wrong number. Oops. Let me get a better eraser here. I did that one time before too. I hit the number from the last time when we had it turned the other way. I accidentally went with that number. I went with that one, which was from this line. This is the number I want right here. Oops. Dingbat. That's kind of easy to do, so just watch for that. Help if I grabbed the paper and moved it a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's better. You can go back in and erase that later. Okay, now that you have got all of your papers with these grids on it, let's say, which I don't, but let's just say, then what we're going to do is we are going to cut out all 4 corners on each one. So, excuse my sniffles. You're just going to grab scissors and just cut right on the lines on all 4 corners and cut them out. It's easy peasy. The beginning is a little time consuming, but then it goes by quickly. And then, you know, obviously I'm going to cut this one and the other one. So I'm going to shut off the camera. I'm going to cut all these and then I'll be back. Okay, so it's been like 2 weeks since I started this because when I started it I wasn't feeling good and I kind of got part of it started and then I wasn't feeling good and now I feel better, so I'm getting it finished finally. Sorry. So anyway, when I last left you, not left last you because that ain't gonna work. When I last left you, we had cut out all our things and cut out all the corners on each piece of paper, and so you're left with a bunch of T's. You got a T, you got a T, you got a T, you got a T. And they all kind of vary in size from smallest to largest, and the largest will be on the bottom. So once you got them all cut out, all the things cut out, you're going to take an eraser and you're going to erase any pencil lines that you have left. So you're going to go through and erase pencil lines, okay? And then from here, what you're going to do is take a ruler of some sort. This is the easiest way to do it, so you don't have to score anything or anything like that. And you're going to put it on the edge of each one. You could do it without this, but this just to me makes it a little bit neater. Put it like right on the edge of where, you know, the paper would be in a line here. And then fold this up and over. Okay, so you're going to do that to each side. Now you can do it without it. See, watch. Voila, you just got to be careful that it stays nice and straight. So you really don't need the ruler. The ruler does help, but if you're confident that you can do it straightly, and don't look at my nails because since I left you, my nails are chipped and screwed up and I need to fix them. So we're not going to pay attention to that. So anyway, this is what you do. So you're going to do this to all of your things. So let's do that right quick. I like the thinner ruler better because it's easier if you wanted to do it this way. To just, it's easier to, what side is thinner? I guess they're both kind of the same. But this ruler is a little easier for me. And you just do that and fold it in. Go on each side, line it up. Go like that, fold it in. And this way you get nice crisp folds. And then you can go back in with a bone folder if you really want to. And fold all of your little doohickeys in. And then you go to the next one. And if it's not folding straight, just kind of adjust it with your hands. You should just want it to fold as straight as you can get it. It's the easiest way. It makes it look a lot less cattywampus. We don't want no cattywampus. We want it to be nice and straight. And we got all these done. Okay. And then one more. I think actually that one was smaller than this one, but that's okay. Doesn't matter which order you do it in as long as you get it done. Know what I'm saying? Okay. Okay, and so once you have them all, I'm having issues today. Once my fingers aren't working, my phalanges are broken. Once you have them all done, then you get them in their order from biggest to smallest. Oh, before we do anything else, let's corner round. We're going to round the corners. You don't have to do this. I like it. I like all the corners to be round. So I will do this and fast forward through it so that you don't have to sit through this painful experience with me of having me do all of these corners. Corners are rounded. Now what we're going to do is take the biggest one, lay it down, and we're going to take some glue, and in this case I'm using Aleene's, but you can use whatever glue you want. You can even use hot glue if you so desire. But in my opinion, I think that the Aleene's is just fine, and all you're going to do is just put enough glue to attach one to the other and just line it up so that your flaps look kind of sort of normal against each other. Now here's something I discovered. That little trick I taught you with the ruler, put it on 0, you know, to divide it into 3. It's not, for some reason, it's not 100% accurate. There's a slight room for error on that, which is completely fine in this situation. I promise you, you are not going to notice it. But it is a slight, I've noticed sometimes it's not perfect. I don't know why. It doesn't seem to come up. It could be me. It doesn't matter. The end result is still going to be the same, so it's not going to matter. I'm just letting you know that so you're not like, okay, this is a hair off. It doesn't matter. The end result does not matter. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. It still works all the same, even if it's a hair off. They still all stack, but I just noticed that every now and again, unless I'm doing something wrong, it's probably me, really. I didn't notice it on this one as much, actually. I noticed it on the first one I did a little bit, but this one seems to be a lot better. So it probably was just me. So probably disregard that. Doesn't matter though, regardless. Look, everything looks good. Everything's in good. Everything bends fine. Everything fits fine. So it's not an issue. Okay, so now you've got your box pretty much done. So it's really not a hard thing to do. And it's very pretty and it kind of looks cool. I like the different color purples. So you let that dry a minute. And while you let that dry, now you're going to get your other piece of paper. So here we got our other piece of paper. And you're going to get your cutter. Which, let me go grab my cutter. It's behind me. Okay. Now, let's see. I gotta stay in view as much as possible here. Okay, so the deal is we want to make a lid for our box, right? This is not hard to do. It's very easy. What we're going to base it on is the bottom of the biggest piece of paper, which is on the outside now because we already glued it. This piece here is what we want to measure. It's obviously going to be square, so we're just going to measure that it is 2. It's 2 and whatever that is. Almost to the 3. So it's 2 and I don't know how to measure. So it's 2 and 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8, 5, 6, 7/8. There we go. Without counting it, I don't know how. It's 2 and 7/8. Okay, that's how big the square ended up being. So 2 and 7/8. I'm going to round it up a little bit and probably do it just a hair bigger than that. So I'm going to cut this paper, and actually it's 2 and 7/8 for the base, right? And that's going to be squared, 2 and 7/8 squared. Okay, what you're going to do is you're going to add an inch on each side, and it doesn't have to be an inch. The inch only determines how big this flap is. So if you want the flap to be super long and then for it to go like further down on the box, like if you want the flap to go down further down the side here, then you would make this bigger than an inch. So you would do the 2 7/8 plus 1.5 inches if you wanted to. Or you can make it shorter. If you just want a small lip on the box, you can do 2 7/8 plus 3/4 of an inch all the way around. But I did an inch. I believe I did an inch. Nope, maybe I didn't do an inch. I did 3/4 of an inch. Okay. So let's do an inch just because I didn't do an inch the first time. I did 3/4 of an inch. I really got to glue that down, and I will glue that down. So it's going to be 2 7/8 plus an inch on each side. So it's 2 7/8, 3, 4, 5, 6 7/8 squared. That's what you want. So you want, because there's four sides, so you're going to add 4 inches to 2 7/8. So 4 inches plus 2 7/8 would be 6 7/8. We're going to do 6 7/8, and I'm going to add just a hair to it. So you could do 6 7/8. I mean, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to do 6, and everything needs to get out of my way. So 6, and there's a 7/8. I'm just going to move it up a hair because I want it just a little bigger. Just in case I add a bunch of stuff and I add, like, let's say I add a lot of pictures on this and things and it's kind of bulky. I want it to fit over the top, letting the little bulk. So you can make it a little bigger if you want to by doing that. You don't need to, though. So, okay. Hopefully I do this right the first time. But it's got to be 6 7/8 squared. So, once again, I'm going to do 6 7/8. Okay, so there's our piece. That is going to be our lid. Okay, so now we need a scoreboard at this point. Unless you have a ruler and a bone folder, you could do it that way. So now that we've added an inch for all 4 sides, plus the circumference of the box, or the whatever you call it, not circumference, the whatever. The width of the box against the length of the box, which is 2 7/8. Add 4 inches for the 4 sides. I hope this is making sense. I'm trying to make it make sense, because I know there are a lot of people out there like me who suck at measuring, and I just want to make it as easy as possible for you. So now all you're going to do is... Did I make this too big? I might have made this too big. How did I make this too big? Okay, wait. Hold on, folks. 4 inches. No. 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 Because I haven't made this in a while. It's been like a month since I made the original one, so I forgot. I totally forgot. Let me see what it was. Let me stop the camera and figure this out before I go any further and blow my brains out. I'll be right back. Okay, figured out the problem. I'm going to show you on this because I already cut the other piece of paper and scored it and it's all done. So let's just take this scrap paper. Okay, so I measured this again. I realize what I did now. This was 2 7/8, right? Add 2 inches, not 4 inches. You're only going to add 2 inches to make an inch box that'll have an inch lip of a lid. So whatever size lid you want, if you want your lip to be really long or really short, you just add that on twice. So if you want a 3/4 inch lid, you're going to add 3/4 by 3/4, which is 1.5 inches. No, I don't know, whatever it is. You figure that out yourself. If you want an inch lip, you're going to add 2 inches. Okay? So you only have to allow for 2 sides, not 4. That's what I was doing. I was adding 4. You don't need to do that. So, if we want 2 7/8 with plus 2 inches would be 4 7/8, not 6 7/8. So I'm leaving my mistakes in so you could see that it's okay to screw up. You can just go back and fix it. It's very simple. 4 7/8, 4 7/8. That gives me a box. Plus score it, and it comes out like this. And you fold your score line. So you still got it. You got to cut it, and then you got to put an inch score line on each side. Okay, so that's when you end up with this, which hopefully you could see the score lines. Fold all your score lines. Okay. which now I can finally get this cutter out of my face, and this thing here, whatever that's called again, scoreboard, out of my face. Out of my face! Okay. Do all that. Yeah. It's all been folded. Now you're going to take a pair of scissors. Now, you know how last time we cut out the whole corner? We're not going to cut them out. We're only going to make one slit on one side. One slit there. It doesn't matter which one you do as long as you don't do both slits on each corner. Just do one. So do one there. Just turn it right on the score line. One there, and the last one there. So you're not cutting them completely off. Doesn't matter how you do it as long as you only cut one slit. So you could have not cut these slits and done it on this one. It doesn't matter as long as you only do one and don't cut the second one so it cuts it completely out. Because we need these little flaps, because why we need these flaps is so that when we fold the lid, these are what we glue onto the inside of the next side. Okay, so that makes sense? So now you're going to take some glue, and on the outside, so it would be the outside, and then you glue it to the inside, and you just line up the edge right there. Okay, so you line up the edge to have your box. Okay, so here's the outside, and we're the outside, then you put it in. Okay, so you glue the outside and then you fold it in. Glue the outside, line it up so that the corners are nice and neat. As much as you can. You have a little playtime if you use something like tacky glue. If you use hot glue, you're not going to have any playtime. So I wouldn't use hot glue for this. The outside. And then line it up. Line it up at the corner. Squeeze it. Now for this one, before you put the glue on it, for the last one, because it'll make it easier if you do it this way, put it in first. Fold it in like that first so that you're not making a mess with the glue trying to get this last one in. It makes it easier, and then just kind of put your glue, or you can use score tape. A lot of people like to use score tape. And then just, you know, adjust it from there. Okay? It's very easy. And don't let the lid trip you up from making these, because trust me, it's really not hard to make the lid. Yeah, just add 2 inches to whatever the size of the base of your box when you fold it like this. Just add 2 inches to the measurement, and you can have an inch lid, or add 3/4 plus 3/4, which I think 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches is 3 inches. Yeah, it's 3 inches, or not 1.5 inches. 3/4 and 3/4 is, I don't know. You know better than I do. You're smarter than me. I suck at measuring. I don't know how to do. I'm not good at math. I can't measure. I'm a mess. So, you know what I mean. So, an inch is easy because all you got to do is add 2 inches. So, there you go. And there is your top for your box. See? And this one's a little bit longer here, but look, it still looks really cute, right? Cute, cute, cute. And you can make it as long as you want. You want the whole thing to go to the bottom? That would be cute too, to make the whole thing go to the whole bottom of the box and then lift it up and do that. So, you could do that too. You can make it go all the way down so it covers the whole thing. So, it's like a box on top of a box. So you can think about that. Do it however you want. Okay, so that's the base of your explosion box, pal box, whatever we're going to call it. You guys come up with a name for it. I don't know. Explosion pal? That's kind of weird. Explosion box pal. Okay, and then there's your box. So now you get this fun part, is decorating it, which I'm not going to do this part on here because you guys know how to decorate things. This is not new. You do not need me to show you how to decorate it. And plus this specific one I already have planned for somebody. You know who you are. I was waiting for her to see the video before I did it, but this specific one. But I want somebody to make one and swap this one with me, which I will fix the fact that my glue isn't down. I did that part kind of fast, so I will go back and glue it. So everything will be glued down fine. But I'm going to put goodies in here. I'm going to finish decorating it. It's not done yet. I'm going to do some more decorating. I'm going to put some goodies in it, and I'll swap with somebody. So, same thing as last time. If you're interested in swapping with me, and you have to make one of these, though, if you want to swap, I'm basically, this time, I'm just going to take the first person that emails me at pinkpoodlecrafts@gmail.com. And for right now, I got to keep it USA only. Okay, I apologize. So it's USA only. The first person that emails me that's willing to make one of these and send it to me, I will swap with you. So just the first person that emails me, and I will email them back. So if you email me and you don't hear from me, because if I don't get a chance to email you back to say I already found someone, if you don't hear from me in a few days, that means I already have somebody. But I'll try to email everybody back and let them know. But you know how things get, so I will try. So, and then I'll put goodies in it and we'll swap them, and they're really cute and I love them. And there's something you can sit up on your shelf, you know. And I'll fix the stupid washi tape, which I didn't glue down because I thought it was going to hold up, because I was just gluing it to paper, but we all know the washi tape doesn't like to stick. But I'll fix it, because I plan on fixing it, and plus I have to decorate the inside over here, and I want to put little envelopes or something on it, and with stuff in it. So, yeah. And then fill it with goodies. So it's nice and colorful, it's really pretty, and I hope that we can start swapping them. Wouldn't that be fun? So if you want to swap these, and, you know, if any of you guys are interested in swapping with each other, put it in the comments. Put, hey, I'd love to swap with somebody and make one of these boxes. Put it in the comments. Look in the comments. Find swap partners that way. You know what I mean? I think that's a great way to start anyway. And, you know, you guys can start swapping them. And then, you know, who knows, if we get enough people that want to swap them, maybe we can start a little swap group or something. So, yeah. They're very easy to make. You know, you can make them in under 30 minutes, and then decorating them takes however long it takes you to decorate something. It's up to you. But I think this is a good size. I think this is a good size, and mailing them won't be so bad. So let me know what you think, guys. Do you want to swap? And don't forget, if you want to swap this one, if you're going to make one and you want to swap with me, email me. Be the first person to email me, and we'll swap. And I hope you guys liked it. And hope you guys have a great weekend. And don't forget, next week is the hashtag event for the Creative Arts Collaboration. And I plan on doing something. I have something planned. Ha ha ha. I can't tell you. I have something planned. So we're going to do that too. But before then, hopefully I'll get out more videos and we'll have fun. So make sure you do what you love and love what you do and be nice to people. And I love you guys. And I'll see you later. Bye. Mwah.